Routine number 9, reading. There are only two things that can change you in order for yourself to change the situation, environment, or meet the fate. So, those two things are one, eating, and the other, reading. Eating has something to do with your brain, it affects your brain massively. And reading itself is the information. So, let's say the equation like how to make a result. That is just you and the world, who you are and how's the world. And then things happen, but you cannot change the world. The only thing you can change is yourself. What you blame about, let's say yesterday, the driver next to you, or maybe the colleague or a staff, maybe he wasn't kind. It happens to you and it happens to everyone. The key to success is what you do about it. That's it. World is always as its default. It never changes. So if you blame about the world, that means it's the proof that you're not ready for a better future. So whenever you blame, that means you're proving that you're not enough yet. So you need to do it backward. Accept what it is, then you try to change it. The world is your experiment. Go out with different you and check it out. Just check every day. What happens? Today you go out to the shop with the colleague who wasn't kind. Go there with your poor clothes, poor attitude, or just do your best to look poor or something. Just go there. And he'll do the same. You go there 100 times, maybe he'll do the same. It's because he's just like NPC. People don't really think. Then maybe next day you go there with your best suit, hair set, and maybe just polish your nail too if necessary, and the best shoes and something expensive or what. Then, act like one who's worth the clothes and all the things around. He'll act differently. You probably think, is it necessary? But yes, it's necessary because you need to feel, you, I don't know how to define you, but emotions, which is body actually. Your body needs to feel it. The feel that, it must feel that, it's so much better to have more money. People look at me and that's just different. She just looked back. Something like that. Appearance matters. Yes, it does. People say it shouldn't, but it still does. Then why don't you make it work for you? Appearance, is not by nature. It's maybe there's some part like portion, maybe huge sometimes. If you're handsome or you're pretty, then you'll feel it. But it's not necessarily that. Some people have that, aura. They are not handsome, they are not pretty, but then they have self-belief and like they are firmly believe that they are worse. And it overflows and people feel it that way too. So you can actually decide who you want to be. Because the amount, if you really firmly believe, then the amount that overflows from you, there will be your aura, and then that will affect people. And you act like that. First, maybe you'll feel awkward. Who am I to act like this? I'm not that person. That's the idea that your upbringing gave you. You don't want that. Sit down. Bring paper and pen. Then write it down, which is better. Choose one. Then unlearn who you are. Who you were taught to be. Just unlearn. To do so, you need to have better information. You need to read better things. So, routine number 9 now. I said it was reading, but then actually I read all the time. People always read and they say, "Oh, I read that one," and I know they don't. So people use same word for different things. I mean, different frequency or purity, should I say? Let's say, love. There's love between child and mother, and it's different. How? Mother to child, child to mother. This is totally different. This is not the same amount. Maybe same frequency or not. I'm not sure. Not a mother yet. And next. So they use this same word between man and woman couple. They use this love word, I love you, and then the word guy thing and the girl thing. There's difference. It can never be the same. Maybe it's same. Maybe it's same. Sometimes it's same. I don't know. But most of the time, this is different. And then also mother to child, that is different. So people use the same word for many different purposes, or it's just not the same. You need to understand that. Let's say I say, oh, that's red. And maybe that is my red. Maybe that is someone else's red, but red has different color, of course. You know, you can write it down actually, shop and blah, 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 like 6 digits or something. Yes, you can do it. But how I see, how they see, this is different. Yet, everyone is right. Because how do I say what is wrong? No, I can't. It's because if he thinks he's right, then that is right. If I think that is right, then that is right. If you think what's right is wrong, then that is wrong. If you think what's right is wrong, but I still believe that is right, then maybe there's chance that is right. So you deny, and the moment you deny that is the right answer, that is wrong. So it's always right to be open-minded and be open for a slight chance that maybe you're not right, but what he's saying sounds crazy, but there's chance. There's just 1% or less than that, but still chance that he's right. You need to see it. You need to try it. And to do so, you need to read books. And I mean, by reading books, people always read once and they think they know, and they use this know word too much. Most of people don't know, yet they say no. And when I ask what they know and I go deeper into it, it's because I'm a curious person. And when I hear, I totally hear, which means I am recording this video and the world doesn't exist. I am looking at the camera right now and I don't even see myself in the screen now. I am looking at you right there. That's the presence. That's the power of presence. I am totally be here. Probably you who are listening to me right now. Let's say, let's make 100 people copy of you. Then probably 30 people, it depends on what time it is and what you do. 30 people are in the future worried about worried about things. And probably 60 people are in the past and regret. They are regretting something. They are mourning about something. Only 10 people out of 100 is in the present moment, and just 10 people are working in order not to miss the important information that you tune into, something that you tune into. Some people that is money, some people that is clothes, some people that is just pure fun, or some people that can be drug. But don't use only 10 people, just use 100 people to see more and be more participate. And you will see a lot more things in different level. So when you do one thing at a time and be there totally. That's how I do. That's why sometimes I have like deep percussion. I have a lot of whys. Why do you think so? Or when was the first time you thought about it? And oh, really? Tell me more. And as I told them, as I demand, like as I asked them more about information that uh, they were right about just now, they were very excited about, and they shared the information with me. And I asked them more, and they got a little, how can I say, worried. And it's because they didn't really know. And soon they are angry that I ask too much. That how I do? The moment they said the moment they didn't admit that they didn't know, they stopped learning. Somehow they didn't learn. And me, I accepted it. And I was really curious. I learned. So that's how I make others mine, I think. I am always curious and I always think things, uh, think about, like, try to think about things in a good way. And I always want to learn. So it happened in the elementary school. I was like 8 years old. I didn't know how to read. I was like official idiot, official retard in a class, I think. That's how I was. Probably they didn't even care, but I was drooling. Somehow I drooled a lot. And the children around me, they didn't like me. And I don't blame them. And one day, I think that was summer vacation. I was chubby kid, just like probably like, I don't know. I was reading MJ DeMarco's The Fast Rain thing, and he described himself as a chubby kid who liked ice cream a lot. And I probably was just like that. Sweet things are like poison to your brain, but I think I liked it a lot. And one summer vacation after that, I lost pounds and a lot of like weight, and I grew really tall. Just within one summer vacation, I came back to school. I didn't really have friend, I think. No one recognized me, and they thought I was new, and they started talking to me. That's how I began. So I learned the appearance thing. It's different how you act. I learned it. And ever since then, I try to learn whatever I feel that is pretty or awesome, amazing, or he's great, he talks a lot and he's good. He's logical. Those things, I see things in a person, and if I like it, I learn. I just make whatever I like in him part of me. I think that was my ability. I then I developed how to analyze things so that I see more things than usual people, and I try to understand. So that's why I know how it works, and then I try to apply this to myself, so I know what is the steps to for me to take to be that, and I learn always. So to read, you need to read a lot. You need to read not once, three, four, five, if necessary, 100 times. The kind of books you want to read, probably that's just a fun books. Maybe some like, I guess, Christie or like Sherlock Holmes stuff, or other things. Maybe you like it. Then that is like what's happened, like event. So it's not possible to read the same book then have the different story. So which means you read Sherlock Holmes 100 times, but then you cannot guess what happened in 1984 in other book. But it's kind of self-help books, like let's say one legendary would be Think and Grow Rich. and maybe the science of getting rich, or the power of subconscious mind or something, or the power of now. And those things, the truth is just simple. There's universal truth, the good, just a pure good. You do this and that will happen. People, like a lot of people, saw it through time, and then they they had this knowledge or thing inside them, and it was so big that they couldn't keep it, that it overflew. Then they had to do something about it. They maybe first talked about it with people, and people wanted them to read it. I mean, write about it. That became books. So there's one thing, and people analyze it different ways, and then one thing divide by many, and people write about so many things. So there are so many books, but then they are actually about one thing, the universal truth. And what I'm saying is that you probably try to find the right book and many right books, but it's not necessary. If you can find one good book, then read it 100 times. It's because I promise you, you read once, twice, three, four, five, six, 7 times, you hear different, you see different things that you missed out, and you read it again, then that is actually different meaning, and the more you read it, the more you understand. So there are a lot of self-help books. Not all are true, but there's some like legendary books like Think and Grow Rich. So what I'm suggesting is, if you want to be rich, read Think and Grow Rich, and read it like 100 times. But it's physically not. It's possible, but physically it's difficult. So how I do it is I read it, and at the same time, not at the same time, but when I can't read, maybe I drive, or maybe I'm in the restroom and my ears, it has nothing to do. Then I just hear it as audiobook. I hear a lot. First change was 2019, June 26th. Was it June 22nd? Yep. Oh, sometimes it's just confusing. Okay. So I started listening to one kind of like YouTube clip, and it happened to be Neil Nightingale. He talked about something, and it was not convincing first time. I was on this building's rooftop. I woke up at 5, and I did my things, and then I woke up, and the moment I started this YouTube clip, then I go up to the roof, and then I walked around, and when it finishes, I come down to do the next routine. That was my routine, and I did it. First time it was hard, and then it became my ritual. And later on, what happened? I came to see different things. I came to see how beautiful this garden was there in the up on the rooftop, and I realized there was flower that didn't bloom at the time I started walking, but then it's later it bloomed, and I was like, so one day I was early, then I figured it out. Okay, this was different from yesterday. What happened? And one day later, and I was a little late, and it was bloom already. So I felt, oh, okay, this is about time. Then that was my competition. That was my competition. I wanted to beat this flower. Then later, I really beat this flower, and it was dying, slowly dying. And I gave it water. Somehow there was water tap. I can just really seriously, I can go take a picture of it. Probably the flower is there now. I don't really do the exercise now. This exercise like walking there, but probably the flower is there. So I go to the tap, get the water on my hand, and I gave it to the flower. But regardless of my effort, anyways, it died. And I felt sad because that was my competitor, and it was so lonely. Only me there doing something. So competition is hard, but it's not necessarily bad. So it can be your energy. And I didn't really intend to have it, but my mother started throwing things, and she's exceptional. She's good. She didn't really learn, but she learned uh, a few months, like 2 or 3. Then she started drawing amazing, and she got prizes from competition. And she's amazing actually. She always had it, but she never knew. And she gave me 2 pictures, and there's picture frame there. One is some fruit on the basket, and the other is flowers, 2 flowers. And she drew the flowers. Actually, I didn't tell her about this. I didn't show her the flower because I couldn't even. I didn't even take the picture of the flower. She brought it to me. It's there. So somehow I believe everything's energy, and then maybe I missed this competitor. And my mother got this energy and materialized into the picture, and I have it now. I don't know how it works. And Neil Nightingale was talking about what he learned from Think and Grow Rich, I think, Napoleon Hill. And those are energy too. And that energy struck me in the past 2019, June 22nd. So it has been about 1 year or so. And finally, I started learning how to be peaceful. That was the first thing. So there was a book called Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. I read this one. I heard this book more than 100 times, I think. Really, seriously. I always listen this Amazon books thing, and I heard it a lot. Anywhere I go, I was with my earphones and I was listening to it. And often I cried. I cried a lot on this book, and also Neil Nightingale's that audio clip. I cried a lot. Sometimes I had this overflowing emotions that something's changing in me, and I felt the euphoria a lot, many times. I cried in the car a lot because that was my personal space, and I was listening to it. Then I didn't stop crying. I didn't want to. I want this, whatever it was. It felt like poison. Probably I wanted to change myself. Then myself inside, there's something that forms myself that must come out from it because the energy is going inside. That was tears, I think. So I dropped it, a lot of it. And I was in the state of peaceful mind, and something came to me a few months ago. It was Huberman, and with this power of mind, I mean the power of now, I was peaceful. I didn't have many things, but I was peaceful, and I the total control of my life. So what I wanted was not exactly money, but what I wanted was 4 things. One, I wanted to do what I want. Two, I wanted to do the thing and with someone I want, people I want, I choose. I wanted to do things at the time I want. 3 things. I opened it. And number 4 is I wanted to do things where I want, but I couldn't open it because, what I do actually the the concept is I need to be there to work there. But this Wuhan pneumonia that changed the paradigm, and it worked for me. Many people were in my same territory, like same line of the job, line of the work with me, and it worked against them because they believed it would work against them, but I believe this would work for me. So now I do things on Zoom class, and then I do everything at home. So I reached my goal. I do what I want. That's the first thing. I do when I want. I do where I want. I do with people I want to do this with. So I carefully choose my people to talk to, and then I do it under 4 conditions. And 3 or 4 months ago, I saw Dr. Huberman in Stanford University, and he studies brain stuff. So my brain was kind of serotonin and here and now kind of oriented brain now. And then I learned how to press the dopamine button. I knew about dopamine, but I never really know the way to generate it or know the way to make the situation for my body to generate it. So I didn't really have the go button. And now I have the go button. Before I was like a car, and I was in the car, stop the car, and I am enjoying the scenery. That was me before. But now I am like, I know how to use this brake button, go button. So when I want to focus on something, I go. When I want to just stop the car to maintain my sanity or something, I don't know, I push the brake pedal, and I just am happy there, the scenery. So I use it, and I know how to use it. And the next thing I learned is how to unlearn things, how to bend the fact that change the picture of myself and information that I had, because what I heard from people, they don't really know, but they say, and I myself happen to believe, and that's engraved in my brain that I need to unlearn this thing. It's not difficult. That's how I believe. There should be the way. So there's one habit that I have, and this is bad. Nail biting habit that I had, and I don't do it anymore. It's because I know to protect myself, I should drop it. Otherwise, probably I'll get the virus, and then maybe they will end me. Not like this, not now. I don't want it. So I stopped it. But then there's one older habit that sometimes I pull my hair. The problem is I don't know why I do it. I guess when I am like there's agitation aroused, and I myself want to do something, and they do it, and so they do, and which means they have purpose, and they achieve it by pulling one hair, which is not same as the others. Maybe this is a little thick, or this is slightly, it feels different. I might myself sensed it, and then it pulls it. So sometimes it's eyebrow, sometimes it's hair, sometimes it is mustache or any facial hair. Sometimes it is the hair on my hand too. And I did it. The first time I remember was I was young, like 8 years old. I felt something on my head here, and there's one particular hair that felt different. I tried to pull it, but I couldn't even see it, so that's why I had to rely on my sense of like tip of the finger, and I pulled a lot, so that I lost a lot of hair here, and as if I was balding. So my mother had to use the black marker to hide it. That was the first remember I had. And that kind of imprinted in me, and I constantly do it until now. So my next goal is to unlearn this hair pulling habit. For that, I'm learning now. And when it succeeds, that means I know I learn the like detailed things too, not the concept one, but like behavior thing. And the next step is if I know how to unlearn things, how to work, or I understand the mechanics, and I apply this to other people, and I'll check because the world, is it just adorable? I mean, is it just good that the world is always as is at its default, so that I can do whatever I want, changing myself, and then see the changes of the world, and I can see what to do to change the world in what way. So I have a lot of students. I want them to get better, be better, and that's how I do. I just do my best to change them better, and in order to do so, I need to have I need to have myself changed. I always do to myself first, and then if this is good, I do to my students. And on the way, everything earned is mine, the knowledge. And that's what it is. Well, I think this video was unnecessarily too long. It was about routine number 9, right? But anyways, I probably did it because I had to. Okay. All right. So, how do I finish this? Yeah, read it.